Donnie and Dolly. The team is supported by ableauctions.ca. Closing your business? We can help.
Tuesday, and all of our guests today, including Ian Furness standing by, brought to you by the Whistler Golf Club. As Ian Furness joins us now from KGR Sports Radio in Seattle on the Kraken Hockey Network. Seahawks losing 26-20 at home to the Rams on the weekend. Now 4-5, 1-5, Rick, since the 3-0 start.
Yeah.
Ian Furness joining us now. How are you, sir?
Couldn't be better, Donnie. Couldn't be better.
Okay, before we start the interview, we hope and you know how much Canadians care about Americans. All the best down there. We hope everything is peaceful.
You know what? Honestly, I think that's all I'm hoping for as well. It's all you can hope for. I was just thinking, boy, I'd like to be at that Whistler Golf Club right now for the next week or two for a lot of reasons. I don't have to talk about the football team and our hockey team struggling, but yeah, I do appreciate that. Yeah, I know I was talking to Ryan off the air, and I mean, like we all know, it's a huge day in our country, and you know, whatever happens, there's going to be around half the country that's going to be unhappy, and the way it's gone the last couple times, I'm just hoping we have a peaceful few days afterwards.
Tough turn. We'll take it. Ian, it's being reported that DK Metcalf will not be traded before today's trade deadline. And again, this is being reported. Is he up for grabs?
Yeah, it's so laughable. Like, okay. It's just you guys know how this business works, right? It's like someone's going to report that something's not going to happen, and that's going to be like a report. I don't know. I grew up in a different world of journalism than that. I think the two of you did as well. But yeah, no, that part of the ridiculousness aside, no, you're not trading DK Metcalf. He's under contract. He's a game changer. He's a difference maker. We've seen the difference he makes since he's been out. He makes everybody around him better, makes the offense better, even if he's not catching a pass. For the criticism he gets for his, my goodness, he's criticized because he has too much emotion. In today's day and age with professional athletes. Hello, NBA. We're talking to you guys. No, he's not going anywhere. He never was going to go anywhere. So when people are reporting he's not going anywhere, they're just trying to make sure that they get their name out there.
3 TD passes, 3 picks for Gino Smith. Where's his game at right now, Ian?
Inconsistent is probably the best way to look at it. There's only so much, Donnie, you can do when you are playing with probably the worst offensive line in football. And I'm talking all levels from Farhan's Pee Wee team that he coaches in Burnaby or wherever to the highest level of the NFL. It doesn't matter. This is the worst offensive line, period. They're not good. They've had huge issues at center for so many years. They haven't fixed that. The 2 guards are awful. They're on a 4-string right tackle. It's just, and their left tackle, who was a top 10 draft pick, hasn't played like that. So, as much as Gino has had his issues along the way, guys, it's the offensive line is not giving him much of a chance. He does make some bad decisions every now and then. I think he's forcing it a little bit more because of the pressure he's under. It's funny because a couple of the plays that he's made, a couple of the interceptions and the issues, like the pick 6, he had like 3 seconds to throw. Like, that can't happen. Like, you've got to get rid of it at that point. So, I think all those things come into play as well. It's a hard situation right now to be in because I think that they should be, and I think that they can be a better football team than they have showed. I want to just take a step back if we can, because I love coming on with you guys because for the most part, you don't have the mold and the groupthink mentality and the narrative up there that sometimes we get inundated with down here. But let's take one step back with what this team is. They were 9-8 last season. They missed the playoffs on the last day of the regular season in a tiebreaker. They were that close to the playoffs. They fired their head coach who took them to a Super Bowl and won a Super Bowl and was always in contention. Why was that? Because they expected to be better this year. This is not a rebuild. This is not a retool. This is not a step back. So where they are right now, I think, is both disappointing and surprising to the team.
Well, Ian, your hockey club, the Kraken, not doing much better. 3 straight losses, back-to-back shutout on the road. What the heck is going on there? I think 1-6 in their past 7 games.
Ryan, I think I lost the connection. I'm not sure where we're at. Oh, boy. Well, this is a fun day. Let's see. and it's just going to get better.
Yeah.
It's just going to get better. They're a strange hockey team, guys. I wish, well, I'm sure Dan Bilesman and Ron Francis wish they knew. So you score 8 goals, or you score 6 or 7 goals, or you score no goals. That's who they are. Like, it's insane. Like, they either score a ton or they don't score at all. It's the most feast or famine team, I think, in the league, right? It's what they've, they started the road trip, a 5-game trip. They started a week ago tonight.
Yep.
They went to Montreal and they scored on anytime they put it on frame, they scored. It was Montembeault was awful. But it didn't matter because they were getting quality chances. I mean, I think all but one were quality chances he got scored on. And then they put Primo in. It was the same. Then the next game, they score an empty netter down 3-0 late on Tolvin, and in the last 2 games they've been shut out. And it's just an odd thing. I don't know. I know this. They're in Colorado tonight. They are shaking the lineup up quite a bit tonight. Like, it's a pretty significant shakeup of the lineup tonight. And so I think that's an interesting step that Dan Bilesman's taking. I like the guy because, man, he's not happy. And when he's not happy, he tells you he's not happy. The words urgency and compete have been used a lot in his comments lately in terms of lack thereof. So I would expect a different team tonight in Colorado against a team that is having its own issues, obviously. But it's funny, like, as much as Colorado's, having, quote, issues, as doing our prep for pre- and post-game stuff tonight, I'm looking through there. Well, like McKinnon and those guys, they're all still doing what they do. Like, they're all still averaging a 1.5 a game. So, Makar probably is going to have an 82-game point streak this year. I mean, it's just they can still do that. You just got to find a way to score on them. And when they played them earlier this year, they had a tough time offensively as well. I think it's a better hockey team than they've shown so far. When they missed Brandon Montour, when he went back for the birth of his second child, that was significant. The way that Bilesman wants to play, guys, the breakout and the pace and the connectivity and all that stuff that they want to do, it starts in the back end. And they've got 3 puck-moving defensemen that really kind of are the key. And they're all on 3 different pairs. They got Vince Dunn, who's out on LTIR. He comes back mid-November. They've got Brandon Montour, who's really good at that. And Riker Evans has stepped up in a big way, the kid from Regina. So, like those guys, but all of a sudden you play a game with only Riker, and then Brandon comes back, and frankly, I don't know how he was even awake. I mean, he flew from Montreal to Seattle, I think commercial, and then back to Ottawa after 36 hours with his wife. I mean, so hopefully he's rested and better. But, they're a strange hockey team, guys. They're a strange hockey team.
Okay. Ian, one more before we let you go. Back to the Seahawks for a second. Yeah. You said something there that triggered a question from me. Would the Seahawks be better with Pete Carroll still around?
Whoa.
Sorry, I told you to make it quick, and that's a tough one.
No, I don't know. We can talk more next week. I will say this. Your buddy Luke Wilson, who's on TSN up there,
he agrees.
Does a phenomenal job.
Yeah.
Yeah, just ask him that, and then ask him it off the air, and make sure you have the dump button ready, because a lot of ex-Seahawk players feel the same way as Luke does. I don't know. I wouldn't go that far yet. I think there was a need for a change, and I don't blame Mike McDonald, but I will say this. The team has played sloppy. They have played undisciplined, and I think those are things that go trace back to coaching. But the biggest issue, honestly, guys, is that they just can't block anybody up front, and that kind of starts the. I mean, the defense played great last week. Again, you tell me that you're going to hold Matt Stafford to what you held him to in regulation, you win that football game 9 times out of 10, unless you throw 3 interceptions.
Yeah, maybe we'll talk more about it next week. I hate you with that at the end, Ian. All the best with everything south of the border.
Hey. We appreciate it. We love our friends north of the border. I can't wait till you guys treat me for a round at Whistler Golf Club. They sponsor your show.
Yeah, we'll get on. We'll talk to Big Al in the break. Yeah. Okay, Ian.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
We'll get you tea time in January.
Yeah.
Thanks, buddy.
Perfect. See ya. Bye.
Appreciate it.